It was my first year of college. Me and my mom is looking a boarding house or place that have available room where I can rent out and stay that's near by the college campus. We did and found one. A college dorm that was owned by the school that I enrolled in. It's an all-girls dormitory. Students can get in these dormitory if they want to, and it's just a walking distance. It's a 3-story building. The reason why I took it because my mother said so, because of its safety and security, and my aunt is paying, so I have no say in this. About the dorm building, it's concrete walls on the outside but all wood on the inside, the floors and stairs made out of wood plank. Sad part is the walls here are pretty thin since it's made out of plywood, painted in light mint green. Overall, the place is decent, simple but decent. We take a look. There are 2 kinds of rooms for you to pick, a single bedroom and 2-bedroom. The rooms that they provide you is not too lavish but simple and clean. Meals are also prepared for you in the dining hall in the ground floor area of the building. They serve it like mini buffet style. And our landlady is a nun. For context, the college dorm that I'm in is a Catholic college that's run by nuns. My mother liked it and signed me in. My assigned room is a single bedroom in the 3rd floor of the building. Next to my room is a 2-bedroom, and it's the only 2-bedroom in the 3rd floor. Rest is all single bedrooms. Weird, I know. There are 2 girls in that 2-bedroom that I mentioned next to my assigned room. They're nice, we have our greetings and knowing each other. I take a look in their place and it has more space than mine. Then back in minding our business. My first week there are uneventful. Unpacking my stuff, meeting other girls in the same floor that I'm in, and other girls in dormitory, getting to class and so on. A month goes by, still uneventful, until one day, one of the girl from the 2-bedroom decided to leave the dormitory. Family reasons, she said. So her roommate now has to move in one of the available single bedrooms. The 2-bedroom that next to mine is now vacant. I decided to clean and redecorate my room a little. The bed is like a small, and I can move it myself. Looked like a hospital bed, lol. Placing the headboard of the bed behind a wall next to a window. Next to my bed is my table and chair. Then back to normal. Until one night, going to bed after a long day of school, I was about to sleep. That's when I hear a loud noise, like a chair being dragged slowly across the floor. I sat up because, what was that? It was really loud. I heard it again, and it sounded like it comes from the vacant room next to mine. But I dismissed the noise. It probably came from other rooms and the noise is probably bouncing around the place. Because I'm not the only person on this floor, for crying out loud. And again, the floors is made out of wood and the walls are really thin. So I went back to sleep. Second night comes in and still hears the same chair dragging noise coming from the vacant room, but dismissed it again. In daytime, where I walk past the vacant room, out of curiosity I twist the doorknob and it was locked. That's where I get an uneasy feeling. Go on with my day, but can't get the noise out of my head. I'm pretty sure the noise came from that vacant room. And every night where I go to bed it keeps happening. I even sleep with lights on because of it. Another night came, but my curiosity got the better of me. I hear the noise again, but this time I place my ears to the wall, and there it is, the same noise. I jumped away, and it really freaked me out because along with the sound, I also felt the vibration coming from the wall. It really feels like the sound really came from that vacant room. I got scared and hid under a blanket. One afternoon during 3 p.m. snack time, where the dormitory give out snacks to all tenants, girls gathered in the dining hall. That's the time where I broke my silence. I talked to the 2 girls from the 3rd floor, and I asked them, "Is this place haunted?" and explained my situation. They both look at me like they know what I'm talking about and nods quietly. One girl who we gonna call Sally. Sally's room is right across to my room, is 2 doors away to a communal bathroom. She also shared her own weird experience. One night when she was in communal bathroom, wrapped herself in a towel with soap and toothbrush in hand. However, she forgot her shampoo in her room, so she had to go back and get it. Her room is few steps away from the communal bathroom anyway, so no big deal, leaving her soap and toothbrush in the bathroom sink. On her way back to the communal bathroom, she felt something stuck on her back. She can feel it wedged between the towels. When she reached for it, and it's her toothbrush, she hurried back to the bathroom and looked at the sink. Only her soap is there. That scared her a little and waited for someone to get in the bathroom, and she never went into the bathroom alone ever again. Sally said, "I know what happened and I know what they are, but if you ignore them and act like they don't exist, they'll leave you alone." After that, I took Sally's advice. I went to sleep ignoring it, but with lights on as usual. I can still hear it, but it eventually stopped after 2 days and never bothered me again. They probably got tired, but word got out and other girls know about my experience. And it turns out I'm not the only one. Other girls got their own haunted experience as well. Funny part is during my 2nd year, I moved to that 2-bedroom because a girl I made friends with tested our bravery in that room. Also, you can actually split the rent cost if you have another person in a 2-bedroom. My experience in that room is pretty much nothing, probably because I'm not alone. I left that dormitory in my 4th year because I can no longer afford my rent, and I got in trouble with my aunt, but I found another place to stay and I graduated eventually. But that experience I will never forget. When I was a child, I was scared of the dark. I swore to my mother I heard voices in it. They were not evil, but they were not familiar, and so they scared me. It was not uncommon in the middle of the night for me to wake up and hear whispers, as I would call them when asking my mom. She figured they were just bumps in the night, and typical kids' nightmare material. I tried often to explain to her that it was more than that they sounded different from one another, the way people's voices do. On some nights, I would get so scared from these whispers that I would sleep in my mom's bed with her. It was an added bonus that the bathroom was directly outside of her bedroom door for my late-night tinkles. I should add at this point that when walking out into the hall to go to the bathroom, you looked directly down the stairs that would lead you into my living room on the 1st floor, as my mom's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. On one such night, around Christmas, I awoke and felt the need to relieve myself. I walked out from the door and distinctly heard the phrase, "Look!" And to my astonishment, a red light, almost like a spotlight, was cast upon the wall at the very bottom of the stairs. The light had no other source. It was by itself, and I was transfixed by it. Being a little kid, and it only being a few days from Christmas, I knew what this light was. It was Santa. How else could he get into my house to know I was being a good boy? I was so excited, I began walking down the stairs to greet him, picking up my pace after the 2nd step, as it began to creep off the wall and fade into the darkness in my living room. That's when I heard him, a very strong, masculine voice, different from the first, not at all like my father's. Not to say he isn't masculine, it was just distinctly different. It said, "Stop, right now, go back up those stairs." I listened, turned around, and what happened next, I am not sure I would believe if someone had told me this same story. After reaching the top of the stairs, I heard a very loud crash. That sent me running back to my mother's bed, where I jumped straight under the covers and stayed there the whole night. When we awoke the next morning, The poinsettia lights, little Christmas flower lights that glowed red. My mother had put on the railing down the stairs were pulled straight down to the bottom of the stairs, some broken, from what seemed like a forceful tear, laying in a single pile. The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall. My mother could not explain it. My father was worried we had been the victims of a home invasion. My sister was crying. There was nothing missing. Nobody had broken in. There did not seem to be any reason this had happened. And then I saw it, and I kept quiet about it, because I was so afraid that I could not force words out of my mouth. There, on the edge of the wooden dry sink, which had been facing up, were 3 indentations where the finish on the wood had been worn, almost as if in a forceful grip. Something down there had grabbed it and threw it down. That was what the bang was. I was mortified. After that day, I never heard a single voice again. I do not like to imagine what was waiting downstairs for me that night, if it was anything at all, but I can tell you that the reality was that something had physically acted upon 2 things in my house, near the bottom of that stairwell. After this, I had never heard another whisper again, which is sad, because in some ways I would have liked to thank the man, masculine energy, that had stopped me from going down those stairs. This happened when I was 7. I am 20 years old now, and because of this incident, I am still afraid of the dark, especially shadowy stairwells.